Alright, so with the power on, next thing I need to do is get this spindle apart so that when my belts get here, which I'm hoping they come in the mail today, I'll be ready to go. Put them on here, put it back together, and be able to run. Now, there's a couple of other videos on YouTube on disassembling Logan spindles, but I haven't seen one that's exactly like this. Except maybe Precision Machine Sheds, and it's one of his older videos. It's very grainy and it doesn't really give a lot of the details, but it seems there's a lot of similarities between them, but one difference that I notice is that mine does not have, and I think Precision Machine Sheds does not either, a set screw down here behind the bolt here. If you come look, this bolt gear is a pretty much flat machine face, except where the pin is to disengage for the back gears. Oh, and by the way, you notice this running a lot freer now. Yeah, it turned out, this collar here has 2 or 3 set screws in it. Loosened those up, backed it off a little bit, and plenty of play now. I mean, plenty of freedom, but actually no play that I can see. So I think it's actually set pretty well right now, but it's all going to come apart. Alright, so I don't know about you. These things drive me a little nuts because you know what you're supposed to use for them is a tool like this one. I don't even remember what these are called, but I mean, you know what they are. I have 5 or 6 of these. I pick them up whenever I see them. I never have to rate one. This is too big, to get in there. And so I end up hammering the darn things off. So I at least went ahead and turned down a piece of brass so I wouldn't be galling it up anymore. You can tell somebody else has already been in there messing with it. But anyway, if that hadn't worked, I was going to have to make my own tool. Alright, so I know I've seen other people, you end up having to drive this off, so I'm prepared to do that. First though, I'm going to go ahead and remove this faceplate here. It's a bearing retainer, and I think once it's off, there's really nothing stopping. Once these are undone, to make sure, I'll loosen them again, make sure. I think they're loose, but I'll hit that again. There's one down in here. I'll loosen up, and I'm a little nervous because I don't see one in here, and I know there's some deal with the you have to watch for the woodruff key to be in the right place on the other lathes, the other Logans that I've seen on YouTube, to make sure it doesn't go through the bearing shield back here somewhere in the wrong spot. So I'm gonna go slowly and see what I run into. Need to find a good screwdriver for this big old. Screws here. Alright. You have to move out of the way. Let's see how tight they are. If they're giving me a real hard time, I'm going to go for something different. Oh no, shoot, they're easy. That one is. And that one is. And that one is. And that one's good. Alright, I was afraid that was going to be an issue. Okay, so this can come apart. Nice and easy. that press fit on there? I'm going to leave that be. I think the whole thing will drive off with that on there. Alright, so that's loose. Yeah, I can't see anything like a key down there. Alright. Oh, there we go. That popped right off. Way to identify which is inboard and which is outboard. No, so I'm going to just lay these out the way they came off. Well, looks like this can go either way too, because it looks like it's lived at different times, both ways. Just came off like that. And we got a Woodruff key to get out. It'll just come easy. There we go. Minimal damage done. And mine doesn't have any kind of flat on it. I think some of the other ones I've seen on YouTube, they had a flat up against here. Mine's just a regular half moon. Sorry, I should give you a better look at what I'm doing. Yeah, so this guy just fell off in my hand. And I just got this Woodruff key out. And now, good. This slides nicely. Some chips in the way. There we go. That's nice. Again, looks like it could probably go either way, so I am going to set it carefully down here in the order it came out, inside, face up. Alright, I'm going to go back and get that Allen key and make sure all those are loose. Oops. I thought this had more than one. Yeah, okay, 1, 2. Loose, loose, loosey goosey. And so that's free. And back this one all the way out in case it catches somewhere down in there. Not really sure how that's supposed to work. Maybe it catches a Woodruff key down in there. Don't know. Alright, nothing stopping it back here. Free, free. All this is free. There's nothing. Alright guys, I got this hammer out and started whacking on it, and it has started to move. Okay, so we're out as far as that's concerned. Now I'll worry about this woodruff key here, and whether there is something I'm supposed to look out for. I feel like I need to put some spacers in here, so if I'm driving from this side, I'm not pounding against the locking pin. So maybe I'll do that. Alright, let's see if this does anything. Oh yeah, there we go. Coming right out. Wow, that woodruff key, that goes way, way down in there. Okay. Oop, dropped my washer. There it is. What is that made out of? Some kind of fiber or something, I don't know. It's very late. Oops. Alright, and this. And another washer. Washer in between the bull gear. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pull the woodruff key out and drop it right in my tray here where I can see it strategically. Yeah. That's interesting. I've never seen one shaped like that. You see that? Yeah, so I'm just going to clean everything up, and I'm hoping my belts are going to be coming in the mail. Something a little interesting to me is just getting the better view of the back gear assembly down here, and this is the mechanism that sets it in place. You watch it, comes up and down. There's an eccentric shaft down in there somewhere. That makes that work. And the other thing of note is that, look, there is an oil hole. So I don't know how you reach that with the spindle in place. I guess you have to know it's there. Well, now we know it's there, and I'm going to take this opportunity to get my oil can out and get some oil in there. Now, I know what you guys are all thinking. You're thinking, Rick, why do you think you're done here with your teardown? This has to come out. The pulleys have to go around this. I mean, yeah. So, I'll continue taking it apart. Alright, so here are all the parts laid out for cleaning. Just wanted to get a little record for my reference, and maybe it'll help somebody else down the road if they've got all theirs apart. If you pick up a lathe for parts, or some with part in parts is what I mean to say. Got your retaining ring, the spindle gear. I guess these are all spindle gears, but that's the one that ties into your drivetrain on the outside. This sleeve here, This is the retaining collar inside of the spindle. This is some kind of fiber washer. Clean it up, see what it looks like. I have to be careful what I put that in. I don't want to disintegrate it. And this is the free-floating pulley mechanism that can be locked in place for direct drive or free-floating for back gear. Another little washer dealio. It's made out of cardboard or fiber or something. And your bull gear. And there's also another little, like here's your headstock, and this goes on the outside, and this is on the inside. There's also a little ring that I left inside the headstock there, just because it doesn't seem to be hurting anything right where it sits. Maybe I should take that out just so it doesn't get lost. So that's it. Everything in pieces. Here's a little tip if you're maybe coming to Logan's from the Atlas world. On the Atlas, if you want to pull this guy off, you're basically undoing, let me check, make sure real quick. Yeah. There's a stop collar in place of this nut right here with the hex, and you undo that, pull that off, and then the whole thing pops off. Not so with the Logan. The Logan, there is this retaining bracket back in here that has 2 screws. So that's what's got to come off in order to pop off your reversing gear assembly. Maybe I can put that on here, I don't know. Might have to come off later. Seems to be a constant sound in my neighborhood of people with all their blowers and all that junk. They just learned to make peace with weeds. I don't understand the whole yard fascination. And there it comes. Question is, I mean, that is see that down there? That's the spindle to your back gear. Sorry. What I was saying was I need to figure out how this comes loose now. I probably have to take this off as part of the deal. I'll see what I can figure out and I'll come back. And I found a little set screw back here to hopefully allow me to get this guy off. I don't know why they had the set screws on the bottom. I guess that's the design. See what happens when this guy comes out. Oh, that just rides on a gear. It's a rack and pinion. Put this back on here to keep it safe. And show you down in here. Yeah, so as that gear is rotated, the eccentric raises and lowers the back gear. Alright, I was not able to locate any set screws in here, so I've just started whacking and it started to move. Continuing to come, it's continuing. Still looking. Okay, this just floats on there. And this is just a boss. And there are no screws or anything like that. I'm just going to keep going. Uh-oh, I'm driving the actual bronze bushing out. I need to stop that. That is not what I wanted to do. Yeah, I need to turn my little tool end off of here because what happened is I caught the bronze bushing on the shoulder right here. So, I'll be right back. Alright guys, I took that nub off and actually saved it because I'm going to use it again when I put this retaining clip back on. And after that it just drove right out. So let's see what we got. I pulled the one gear out. And I did not save the way I took it off, so I hope I can figure that out. I think so. Yeah, so this is how this works. This shaft runs, it has an eccentric right here, and that's what enables it to go up and down. There's a bronze sleeve all the way through this. Put that in the frame. Can you see that? And you have your oil hole. Alright, so that's one more thing I can go ahead and clean up. Ooh, and I'll push that bearing back in that I'd started to drive out. The bronze went down inside of there. See that? Okay, so now I'm in business. Do some cleaning, and I hope my belts come today. Okay, yeah, there is. I can tell how this goes back together because you can see the eccentric sort of. I don't know if that's an actual groove or just. I don't know what that is, but anyway, that tells me it goes together like this. So I'll keep this. Set this aside just like this. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that looks like there's a set screw. Oh my gosh, I think there was. Yep. I just drove this out. Alright. I screwed up. There is a set screw down here. Comes up from the bottom. So don't do what I did. Find that from down here. Guess you can reach up from underneath here. Undo that before you go driving this out. Man, makes me mad. Oh well. Nothing I can do about it but just clean this up and apologize to the lathe gods. Alright, I'm going to say my first critical thing about the Logan design, and that is the placement of this daggone set screw. I had, luckily, this little tool, combination of tools, is a little thumb driver for your various hex driven tools, and I had a hex key. This I think is a 7/32, and I was able to reach up in there and back that off. If not for this, I'd have just been SOL, and I've had to take this whole headstock off of here again, which just does not seem right to me that you would have to do that in order to pull the back gear off, because the back gear has to come off to change the belts. You should be able to change the belts without pulling the headstock off. That's yeah, I'm not too happy about that little bit of design. I mean, I tried reaching up under. I took the front bracket off here, and you know, tried to get my hex keys, my regular hex keys, down in there, and with no dice. And I was just about to just yank the daggone headstock off of here, which would have been more teardown, and would have got me to thinking, well, heck, maybe I better just go ahead and do my paint job now. Which is just, you know, come on, we're just changing belts here. So anyway, this saved the day. I was able to back that off, so I should be able to get this together without too much drama. And yeah, I don't want to get into the whole paint thing now. Thing is, this whole lathe is going to have to come apart 1 or 2 times more anyway. I've got to do something different about the mobile base. It's sitting on, you know, basically a wooden pallet kind of deal. You know, at some point I may or may not be building another shop, in which case it would definitely have to come apart again to move it over there. But even just to, you know, like I said, fix the base situation, it's going to need to come apart again. So that's why I'm resisting, you know, doing the whole cosmetic portion of it right now. I just want to get it running. Hey, I'm cleaning up all my parts, and I just want to show this one little bit here. Alright, so these are the pieces when I fit on the spindle, like so. And this is what was binding earlier. There was a lot of caramelized grease on here, on that surface. I don't know if there was on here or not. Definitely on here. And cleaned all that off, and basically I think if that's clean, then you should be able to tighten this right up, and it shouldn't bind. That's my thinking. So I think it was just caked on grease that was causing the issues there earlier. I'll point out one other thing. You can see this hole is marked oil, but this one is not, and you know, could lead somebody to think, well, this one's supposed to be tightened all the way down, where this one just is something you remove to put oil in. But looking inside, yeah, unless at one time or another this had a longer sleeve in here, I don't see any purpose in tightening that down. And if you tighten it too far, you're going to score your shaft. So don't do that. Just use that as another oil hole, is all I can say, because it opens right up to the inside, and there's no corresponding part on the shaft that it's supposed to touch at all. The only thing I can think, like I said, is that there used to be a longer bearing in here, and maybe this was just supposed to set it, but that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I honestly don't know why you have the 2 holes like that. They both seem to serve the same purpose. Put oil down inside the reservoir. So there's that. Alright, I got all my parts cleaned. I went ahead and milled a flat where I boogered it up, driving it out against the set screw, and I put a little witness mark there, so I hope when I put this back in I'll be able to get that flat down to where the set screw comes up. Doesn't have to be there, but would help. So now I just gotta wait for my belts to get here. And the mail has been here today and they did not come, so okay. Alright, so tell me you didn't see that one coming. In for a penny, in for a pound. I think I'm going to end this here. We are no longer in rush mode. I actually have bearings on order. I figure why not just rebuild this headstock correctly so that, yes, I will have to take the lathe apart later, but I don't have to take the headstock apart later. I can just pull this off in a unit and it'll all be good, correct, new belts, new bearings, everything will be beautiful. So that's the plan now.